Hi and welcome to the third class of time, speed and distance. In the first class, we had introduced you to the concept of time, speed, distance, how they are interconnected and interdependent. We did some basic questions on time, speed and distance. Then we went on to find the average speed. Okay, and average speed is not what we normally think. It is not average of speeds, but it's slightly different, and we did that. In the second class, I introduced to you the concept of relative speed, very, very important concept of time, speed, distance. We did a lot of questions on train, people, car, bridge and all, and we did some more questions, and I hope now you're good with that concept. Okay. Time, speed, distance, I have told you, is the most important chapter for any competitive exam. Rest assured, you will get multiple questions from this and you really have to be good at it. Today, we'll continue on the concept of relative speed and we will look at two very interesting concepts. One is of races and second is of escalators. Okay, so we are going to look at two of them and understand relative speed more and do some interesting questions. Okay, so let's dig deeper. Now, basically, if there is a race, let's understand some terms here first. Let's say there is a 100-meter race. Okay, 100 meters race. Okay, so in a race of X meters, A beats B by A meters. That means A beats B. Now, what does it mean? A beats B. When can someone beat someone else? You can beat someone else only if you have completed the race, right? You can't be somewhere in the middle and then you beat someone, right? So when I say A beats B by A meters, that means if this is the length of the race, this is my start and this is my finish. Okay, total distance is 100 meters. If A is at finish, then B is somewhere here and the distance between them is A meters. This is what it means. Okay. Similarly, if B beats C by B meters, again B is beating C, that means B has also completed the race, which we will do after some time. So when B is here, then C is at a distance of B meters. So these are two different scenarios. These are not the same scenario. They will not happen at the same point of time. Remember, first A will beat B. After some time, B will finish the race and then C would be somewhere behind. Okay, obviously here also C will be somewhere, but I don't know that. Okay, because my data is for two different reference points. One is this time and one is this time. They're not happening at the same time. Okay, and that is what the question is asking. Then A beats C by how much? So A will beat C by how much? Now this is a question mark. This I don't know. Ki B beats C by how much? If I knew B beats C by how much, this data, then obviously A will beat C by this plus this, right? But this part I do not know. So this is what we have a formula for that, which is A will beat C by X minus A into X minus B upon X. Okay, how does this formula come? Let me first solve a question for you and then we'll come back to this so that you understand this better. Okay, so we'll come to this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this question which explains that concept very, very nicely. 100-meter race, A beats B by 10 meters. Okay, so 100-meter race, that means when A does 100, B does how much? A beats B by 10 meters, that means B does 90. And B beats C by 8 meters, that means when B does 100, C does how much? 92. Right? So A is to B is 100 is to 90, B is to C is 100 is to 92. So this actually becomes a ratio question. You need A is to B is to C. And that's what I told you while doing ratios. The ratio we use in so many different questions. This is one classic example. So basically, now B I should make 100 in both or 90 in both? B I should make 90 in both because A should remain 100. Because the question is A beats C by how much? So A should complete the race. So A should remain 900. That means B should become 90. So here I should multiply B with 9 by 10. Okay. and if I'm multiplying this, obviously I should multiply this also, right? So my B is to C will become 90 is to, now 92 into 9 is how much? 920 minus 92. 920 minus 100 is 820. 828. So 82.8. Right? So this is B is to C. This is A is to B. A, B. B is same in both. I can combine the ratios. So A is to B is to C will become 100 is to 90 is to 82.8. So this is now same point of time. In the race, when A is at finish, A is here, B is here, C is here. The gap between A and B is 10 and the gap between B and C is, so A is at 100, B is at 90, C is at 82.8. That means their gap is 7.2. Okay, so this is the answer. Now if I look at this in a variable point, I don't look at this from values, but I look at it from variable. Let's understand. Let's say it is a X meters of race and A, so this is X meters of race. A beats B by A meters, B beats B by B meters. So B will be at X minus A and B is to C will be X and X minus B. Right. Now B, I want X minus A in both. So here I'll multiply it with X minus A upon X and X minus A upon X. Now B becomes same. So A is to B is to C is X is to X minus A is to X minus A X minus B upon X. Right. So when A covers X meters, B will cover X minus A into X minus B upon X meters. Right. And this is exactly what was the formula here. Okay. A beats C by this much? No. Basically, it'll be C will be at this point. C would be at this point, and how much he beats by, you'll have to subtract X from this. Right? Because if you saw using this formula, you will get 100, 90 and 82.8. So this will give you the position of C. How much A beats C by will be X minus A into X minus B upon X, or 100 minus 82.8, which is 17.2. So your answer will be this choice. A lot of people make the mistake of writing the answer as 10 plus 8. So 18, if you see, is given as the first answer, because the paper setter also knows that this is a very common mistake that you'll make. Don't fall for that mistake. That is not the right answer. Okay. So I hope we have understood this concept and this formula is now well understood. Okay. If you, again, at the start, if you remember, I told you that time, speed, distance basically has no formula other than distance is equal to speed into time. So here also, if you don't know the formula, absolutely not a problem. It's not essential, not required. You basically have to do is put two ratios and combine the ratios and you'll get the answer. Okay. One more concept that we use in races is the concept of head start. Okay. Head start is a concept where, now by head start the word means that let's say there's a 100-meter race. A is a better runner. B is a weaker runner. So it is decided that B will start from 10 meters ahead. A will start from the starting point. B will start from 10 meters ahead. That means B has to cover a distance of only 90 meters. A has to cover a distance of 100 meters. So this 10 meters that B is ahead will be said A has given a head start to B. Okay. They both will start running at the same time, but B has to cover only 90 meters. A has to cover only 100 meters. So A has given a head start to B because B is ahead. Okay, so that's a small concept. We'll use it in a couple of questions and understand this better. Fine. Okay, so let's look at first question. Now this is a very nice question. Again, you see very little data. Ram beat Shyam by 10 meters or 2 seconds in a 100 meters race. Now, a lot of information actually in this one line. Ram beat Shyam first. So Ram has completed the race. So the race is 100 meters. Ram has completed. Where is Shyam? Shyam is 10 meters behind. The gap is 10 meters. Now, what is this 2 seconds? Ram beat Shyam by 10 meters or 2 seconds. That means in distance terms, the gap is 10 meters. In time terms, the gap is 2 seconds, which means Shyam will cover this distance in 2 seconds. Shyam will complete the race in 2 seconds. So basically, if Ram completed the race in t seconds, Shyam will complete it in t plus 2 seconds. That means Shyam needs 2 more seconds to complete this 10 meters. Right? So that gives you the speed of Shyam, right? Shyam covers a distance of 10 meters in 2 seconds. So his speed is 10 by 2, 5 meters per second. Right? Because 10 meters or 2 seconds means it takes 2 seconds to cover 10 meters for Shyam. Right? So the second part is answered. Speed of Shyam is 5 meters per second. Okay, fine. So one thing, let's go back. What was the total distance? 100 meters. And the speed of Shyam is 5 meters per second. So total, how much time will it take to complete the race? 100 upon 5. So he will finish the race in 20 seconds. So this is also answered. 20 seconds. Time taken by Shyam to complete the race is 20 seconds. Speed of Shyam is 5 meters per second. Okay. Now Shyam will complete the race in 20 seconds. We saw that if Shyam takes t plus 2 seconds to complete the race, Ram takes only t seconds. That means Ram takes 2 seconds less. So Shyam has taken 20 seconds. That means Ram will take 18 seconds to complete the race. Right? So time taken by Ram to complete the race is 18 seconds. This is also answered. And then speed of Ram. Last thing, Ram also covers a distance of 100 meters in 18 seconds. So distance upon time is his speed. 100 upon 18 is 50 by 9, which is 5 by 9 meters per second. This is the speed of Ram. So this is also answered. Speed of Ram is 5 by 9 meters per second. Obviously he has to be faster than Shyam because he has won the race. So this answer is 5 by 9 meters per second. Okay, so you can see how one line can give you so much information. So very nice question which explains the concept of races very, very well. One thing please always understand, whenever someone beats someone, the first person has to complete the race. You can beat someone only if you have completed the race. You can't not complete the race and beat someone. Okay, fine. Let's look at one more question. Sukriti and Saloni are athletes. Sukriti covers a distance of 1 kilometer in 5 minutes 50 seconds. Saloni covers the same distance in so much. If both of them start together, run at uniform speed, by what distance will Sukriti win a 5 kilometer mini marathon? Okay, so this should be simple, right? We have their speeds. We know the distance. We just have to calculate the time taken by them. Okay, now the question is, let's look at Sukriti. She covers a distance of 1 kilometer in 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, the only problem is that you have minute, second, kilometer. Which unit do we follow? Minute per second will be better. So let's do minutes per second. So this is 1000 meters and 5 minutes is 350 seconds. 5 minutes and 50 seconds is 350 seconds. So the speed becomes 1000 upon 350 or 100 upon 35 or 20 upon 7. So the speed of Sukriti is 20 by 7 meters per second. Okay. Sukriti takes lesser time. So obviously Sukriti would win the race. So now if she has to cover a distance of 5,000 meters, 5 kilometers, 5,000 meters at a speed of 20 by 7, how much time is she going to take? So 0 is out, 2, so we'll have 250. So 250 into 7, she is going to take 1750 seconds. Okay. In this 1750 seconds, how much will Saloni cover? Saloni has a speed of what? So if I look at Saloni now, she covers 1 kilometer, which is 1000 meters, in 6 minutes. 6 minutes is 360 and 364 seconds. Right, so if I cancel by 2, you get 182, you get 500, further 91, 250. I don't think we can simplify this any further. So Saloni has a speed of 250 upon 91 meters per second. Multiply that with 1750 seconds. And this is the distance that she will cover. Right. Now 1750, 91, I don't think they are multiples, right? 91, 910, 1820. So they are not multiples. So this will be a bit complicated calculation. So you can use a calculator to do this, but we will try to do manually. So 1750 has to be multiplied with 250. Now instead of multiplying with 250, I'll prefer that I multiply with 1000 and divide by 4. So 1750, if I multiply by 1000, basically I'm adding 3 more zeros and I'm dividing by 4. So this will become 4, 16, then 15, 3, 30. 30 will be 7, 28, 2 carry, 20 will be 5 and 0, 0. So 437500. Okay, and then this has to be divided by 91. So this will be, it will not be 5 times, it will be 4. So we'll have 364. 60 will give you 36 plus 37, so 66, 73. 735 will give you 8, 720, so 15. Then 150. 150 will give you 1. And then you will have 59, 590. 590 will give you about, roughly about 7. So about 4817. Okay. So the gap between them will be about 180, 190. Okay. So obviously answer here has to be approximate. We will go with 200 kilometers. Sorry, 200 meters. But precisely you can do your calculation on a calculator and get this. Okay. So this is one approach to solve this question. The other approach can be that I can take the concept of relative speed also. Both of them are running in the same direction. The distance to be covered is so much. And here you will see the gap will increase between them, but the speeds are very odd. 5 meter, 50 seconds, 6 meter, 4 seconds. So either which way you do, you will run into this problem of speed. So some calculation in the end will require, but concept wise, if you see, there is no unique concept here. It's a simple question of finding the speed, finding the time taken by Sukriti to cover complete the race, and in that time how much distance would Saloni cover. Okay, so that's how this will be solved. Let's go to the next one. This we had already done. Let's see this. This is a head start. Okay, so this is a 1000 meter race. Amisha gives a head start of 100 meters to Bipasha and Selena. So she gives to both. So Amisha is here, but Bipasha and Selena are 100 meters ahead. The remaining distance is 900 meters. So Amisha will run 1000 meters, but Bipasha will run only 900 meters and Selena will also run only 900 meters. Okay. So Amisha gives them a head start and also beats them by 200 meters and 300 meters respectively. That means when Amisha completes the race, Bipasha is 200 meters behind and Selina is 100 meters further behind. That means Selina is total 300 meters behind. Right? So what head start should Bipasha give to Selina in a 1000-meter race so that the race finishes in a dead heat? Now this is also a race related term. Dead heat means that it's a tie. Okay, understand? Dead heat means it's a tie. That means that the race, both of them complete the race at the same time. Okay, so from here, I guess we can get the ratio of their speeds. This data is good enough for us to get the ratio of their speeds. All of them have run for the same time. Okay, time is same. So distance covered is directly proportional to the speed, right? Distance is equal to speed into time. Time is a constant, so distance covered is directly proportional to speed. So Amisha, Bipasha, Selina. Amisha does 1000. In that Bipasha did 100 meters less here and she is 200 meters behind here. So that means she did only 700. And Selina also started 100 meters ahead and is 300 meters behind. So she did only 600. So the ratio of speed of ABC is 10:7:6. Okay. So A, I'm not concerned. I'm concerned with B:C. So B:C, the ratio of their speeds is 7:6. Okay. Now you know that from here distance is directly proportional to speed. Okay. So D1 is proportional to S1 and D2 is proportional to S2, or D1 by D2 is proportional to S1 by S2, right? So now when Bipasha does 1000 meters now, okay, look at this, Bipasha and Selina. When Bipasha does 1000 meters, Selina will do 1000 into 6 by 7. Here. So D1 I take here. D1 is for 1 is for Bipasha and 2 is for Selina. So 1000 upon D2 is 7 by 6. So D2 is equal to 1000 into 6 by 7. This is simple. Okay, and when we had done fractions, if you remember, 1 by 7 is 0.1428. If you remember this, that will help you, because 6 by 7 is nothing but 1 minus 1 by 7, or it is 1 minus 0.1428. Hence it will be 0.8572. Okay, so basically when Bipasha does 1000, Selina will do 857.2. This is the gap. So if this gap is less, that if Bipasha is given to run 1000 meters and Selina is given to run only 857.2 meters, then they will finish the race at the same time. So this gap should be the head start that Selina should get over Bipasha, and this difference, if you see, is 142.8. So basically Selina should, if I look at this, Bipasha starts from here, Selina should start from here, and this gap should be 142.8 meters. Then they will cover the same distance in the same time, because now the distance will be in the ratio of 7:6, which is the ratio of the speeds also. So the head start should be 142.8 meters. Okay. Hope it's fine. It's not getting too heavy. Very interesting concept, but this is how this will be applied to solve this question. Okay, so I've introduced to you the concept of head start. I've also introduced to you the concept of dead heat. Okay, so very interesting question. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so So far in all the questions that we did, we knew the length of the track, but sometimes you also get questions where the length of the track is not known to us. For example, in this question. So let's see how we do this. 3 runners ABC run up a race with A finishing 12 meters ahead of B and 18 meters ahead of C. So that is given to us. So A is to B is 12 and A is to C is 18. While runner B finishes 8 meters ahead of runner C. B finishes, remember, so it's not the same case. So it is the case where we have B and C finishes 8 meters ahead. Each runner travels the entire distance at a constant speed. What was the length of the race? So actually here, if you see, this is reverse of the first question that we solved. X minus A. So if I look at A is to B, A completes the race in X minutes, or A covers X distance. Let's say X is meters. B covers how much? X minus 12. When B covers X meters, C covers how much? X minus 8. If you remember, we had done this, right? So A will beat C by how much? A is to B is to C. If I have to find the ratio, it was X is to X minus 12 is to X minus 12 is to X minus 8 upon X. Hope you remember this. The same as X minus A, X minus A, X minus B upon X, right? So this is same. The only thing is X in this case is not known to us. And then it says A beats C by 18 meters. So A and C, A does X, C does X minus 12 into X minus 8 upon X. This gap is equal to 18. This is the data that we have. So one way is now to solve this. This is a quadratic equation. We can solve this. The other way is to fit the answers and check. Okay, let's solve this, but that will also work. We have answer choices given to us. So x square minus x square plus 8x plus 12x minus 96 is equal to 18x. Okay, it won't be a quadratic actually, this will get cancelled, right? Okay, so I have 12x plus 8x, 20x, 20x minus 18x, 2x is equal to 96. So x is equal to 48. The track is 48 meters. So your answer is second choice. So this is exactly same as what we had done earlier. The only thing is earlier we were finding x minus c. So we are finding that value c. Here c is given to us and instead we are finding x. Okay, which obviously can be done this way. The only care that you have to take is A beats C. This is the equation. A beats C, that means A has completed the race. C is here. As per this information, this is where C is. Okay, so the gap between A and C is this minus this, which is equal to 18 is given to us, and that solving that will give us the answer for this question. Okay, so I think we have done good number of questions on race. Let's move forward, and now we'll do one last question and then we'll move to another concept. Okay, so this again is an interesting question. Ram and Shyam run a race between points A and B, 5 kilometers apart. Ram starts at 9 AM from A at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour, reaches B and returns to A at the same speed. Okay, so A, B, the distance is 5 kilometers. Ram runs at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. He goes there and then he comes back here. There is another person, Shyam. Now Shyam starts at 9:45. He starts at 9 AM. I have Shyam now. Shyam starts at 9:45 at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour, reaches B and comes back to A. Okay. So two questions. At what time do Ram and Shyam first meet, and at what time does Shyam overtake Ram? Now remember, when people are running in opposite direction, then we don't use the word overtake. We say they meet or they cross. Whereas when people are running in the same direction, the one who comes from behind at a faster speed and goes ahead of the person who is slower, this is called overtake. So when we say overtake, it means they're running in the same direction. Whereas when they meet each other, this can be same direction, opposite direction. So here also we can call meet. So meet doesn't mean anything. Cross also doesn't mean anything, but overtake is very clear. Overtake, you overtake a car, you overtake a bike, you overtake someone. Overtake, you always overtake from behind. Okay. Okay. So let's look at this question. Now, Shyam has double the speed of Ram, right? The distance to be covered is 5 kilometers. So Ram starts at 9 a.m. That means Ram will reach here at 10 a.m. Right? 1 hour he will take to cover 5 kilometers and he will reach back at 11 a.m. Okay. Shyam, on the other hand, he has a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. Distance to be covered is 5 kilometers. He'll take only half an hour. That means he will reach here at 10:15. Okay, he started at 9:45. So he will reach here at 10:15 and then he will return and reach at 10:45. Okay. So now look at the scenario. Let's look at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, where are Ram and Shyam? Ram is here, right, at 10 a.m. Shyam has already started running at 9:45, so he's run for 15 minutes, that is 1/4. In 1 hour, he does 10 kilometers. In half an hour, he does 5 kilometers. In 15 minutes, he will do 2.5 kilometers. So Shyam will be here, midpoint. Okay, at 10. And the distance between them, this is midpoint. So this is 2.5 and this is also 2.5. Now Shyam is running in this direction, Ram is running in this direction. So I can now apply the concept of relative speed. So distance between them is 2.5 and the relative speed, they're running in opposite directions. So the speed is 5 plus 10. So it is 2.5 by 15. Okay, which is 1 by 6. 1 by 6 of an hour means 10 minutes. So they are going to meet at 10:10. So the first answer is 10:10. Okay. In this 10 minutes, how much distance will they cover? So where will they meet also we can find out. Shyam, 1 by 6 of an hour and speed of 10 kilometers per hour. He will be at 10 by 6 or 5 by 3 or 2 by 3 kilometers or 1.67 kilometers. Okay. And Ram, 1 by 6 at a speed of 5, he'll be 5 by 6 or 0.833 kilometers. Okay. So somewhere here, this is 0.833 and this is 1.67. Okay. So that is the point where they will meet. Fine. Hope we are clear here. Okay, great. So we know the meeting time, we know the meeting point also. We could have kept this in fraction also. Shyam will be at 5 by 3 kilometers and Ram will be at 1 by 6 kilometers, 5 by 6 kilometers. Now 5 by 6 and 5 by 3, if you add 5 by 3 plus 5 by 6, you basically get 6. You get 10 plus 5, 15 by 6, which is same as 5 by 2. 5 by 2 is 2.5 kilometers, which is the total distance between them. Fine. So we are good till here. Okay. Now let's solve the second part. Now Shyam has to overtake Ram. So now let's look at the scenario when Shyam has reached point B, and we'll solve from there. Okay. So Shyam has reached point B. When does Shyam reach point B? 10:15, right? We already wrote that. 10:15. Okay. So let's look at 10:15. What is the position for both of them? So Shyam is here at 10:15. And Ram has already reached here at 10 o'clock. So 15 minutes he has run. 15 minutes Ram. 15 minutes means 1/4 of an hour. At a speed of 5 kilometers per hour, he would have covered a distance of 5 by 4 kilometers or 1.25 kilometers. So now both of them are running in the same direction. The distance between them is this, and I know the speed 5 and 10. I can apply relative speed again in the same direction. So now the distance is 5 by 4 and relative speed is 10 minus 5. So it is 5 by 4 upon 5, which is 1 by 4, which is 15 minutes. Right? It is 10:15 already, plus 15 minutes more, that means 10:30. So now they are going to meet at 10:30. Okay. Again at 10:30, where will they be? We can see that also. So 10:30, that means Ram turned back at 10 o'clock. He has run for half an hour at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. That means he'll be at 5 by 2, which is 2.5 kilometers. So that means he'll be at the midpoint. This is where Ram will be, at a distance of 5 by 2. Okay. And Shyam, 10:15 he started running. So he has run for only 15 minutes. That is 1/4, but his speed is 10. So 10 by 4 is also 5 by 2. So Shyam will also be here. So they both will meet. Shyam will come from behind, overtake Ram and cross him. So 10:30 is when Shyam overtakes Ram. Right? So the first answer is 10:10 and the second answer is 10:30. Hope we are good with this. Okay, perfect. Let's move now and look at a couple of questions on escalators. Escalators is a very interesting concept. I'm sure in malls and stations and airports you would have seen escalators. So escalator basically would be something that moves by itself, right? So escalator has a speed of itself. Let's say from here to here, we have escalator that is moving up, and the escalator has 30 steps. Okay. Now if you stand still on the escalator will move up by 30 steps and you'll reach your destination. But let's say you are also walking up on the escalator. You take 10 steps. Then the escalator will need to take only 20 steps, right? Because the total distance is 30 steps, and I'm assuming one step of yours and one step of the escalator is same. Okay, it covers the same distance. Obviously, because on escalator also you'll go from one step to the next one. You'll not jump steps, right? So if you take 10 steps, escalator will need to move only by 20 steps because the total distance is constant. It is 30. So whatever you take, balance the escalator will take, and you will cover your 30 steps, right? Similarly, if you're coming down, okay, again it is 30 steps, and you can take some steps. Escalator will take the remaining steps. But in case the escalator is coming down and on that escalator you are going up, in that case the steps will get subtracted and finally you will reach down or up. That depends on who takes more steps, who is faster. If the escalator takes more steps, then you will go in the direction of the escalator. If you take more steps, you will move in your direction. That is how that will get decided, right? Okay, so let's solve a couple of questions to understand this better. So we have Ram takes 30 seconds to finish riding an escalator if he walks on it at his normal speed in the same direction. Okay, so here we have data on seconds. He takes 30 seconds to finish riding an escalator. So we'll assume that his speed, so here we'll not use the steps concept, we'll use the speed concept. So the escalator has a speed of x and Ram has a speed of y. Okay, and let's say meters per second. So now the distance covered is time taken. I have 30 seconds is equal to distance covered. Distance is this length, right? So this is the distance covered upon if he walks at his normal speed in the same direction. Now here you have to understand, here your speed and the escalator speed will get added, though it is in the same direction, and you might make the mistake of subtracting the speed, but no. This is a very similar case to what we had discussed earlier, is a man moving inside a train. Okay, so basically the escalator will help you because you are moving in the direction of the escalator. So imagine that if you're not moving at all in the escalator, your speed will be same as the escalator. If you're moving at some speed in the same direction, then actually your speed will increase because the escalator speed and there is your speed also. So net your speed actually will be x plus y. Okay, here don't get confused with relative speed, why it is not getting subtracted, because this person, the speed of him, x, is his relative speed with respect to the escalator. His absolute speed of the person actually is x plus y. And the escalator has a speed of x. So actually relative speed, now we will subtract, relative speed actually will be x plus y minus x, that will give you y. Okay, so the absolute speeds are this. So we are taking the absolute speed of Ram. Absolute speed of Ram is x plus y because the escalator is helping him. Okay, and then the question says he takes only 20 seconds to finish riding the escalator if he walks at twice his normal speed in the same escalator. So d upon escalator is moving at x only, but he goes at 2y. Okay, so this is the data that we have. Okay, then the question says if he decides to stand still on the escalator, then the time needed. Okay, so let's divide both of them. If I divide both of them, d gets cancelled. 3 by 2 is equal to x plus 2y upon x plus y, or 3x plus 3y is 2x plus 4y, 3x minus x, 2x, x is equal to y. So his speed and escalator speed is same. Okay, so this information we have now. Okay, distance also then we can calculate in terms of x or y. So 30 is equal to d upon x plus x, or 2x. So d is equal to 60x. Okay, then the question says if he decides to stand still on the escalator, then the time taken will actually be distance upon only escalator speed because he is not moving. So it will be 60x upon x, which will be 60 seconds. He will take 60 seconds to reach the top. If you see, normally escalator takes 60 seconds to reach the top, but because the person himself is moving at the same speed of the escalator, the speed doubles, hence the time taken becomes half. Right? Distance is same, speed is inversely proportional to time, so speed doubles, x becomes 2x, time becomes 30 seconds. If he further doubles his speed, then basically escalator is moving at x, he is moving at 2x, so the total speed becomes 3x, speed becomes 3 times, time becomes 1/3, so 60 seconds becomes 20 seconds. Okay, so that is the concept here. So this is on time taken. Let's do one more question where we have steps, concept of steps. So Bunty is climbing up the moving escalator, that is going up, and takes 60 seconds, 60 steps to reach the top. So this is the distance that I was telling you. Total steps are 60. Some of them escalator will take, some of them you can take. While bubbly is coming down the same escalator, the ratio of their speed is 3:5. Calculate the number of steps in the escalator if it's given that both of them take same time to reach the other end. Okay, so Bunty is, this is not 60, Bunty is climbing up and he takes 60 steps to reach the top. He takes 60 steps. Okay, so Bunty, bubbly, he takes 60 steps. This ratio of the speed is 3:5. So if this is 60, then bubbly in the same time would have taken 100 steps, right? 3:5. Okay, so now if you see, when he's moving up, basically the escalator will move up and he also takes 60 steps. So whatever time he takes to do that 60 steps, the escalator in that time will also move forward. So 60 steps taken by Bunty plus. Okay, so now what we do here is we assume that the escalator has some speed of, it moves at a speed of, let's say, x steps per second. Okay, and Bunty and bubbly also have some speed which I don't know, but is in the ratio of 3y steps per second to 5y steps per second. Okay, so they have their respective speeds. Now one very important piece of information is that both of them take same time to reach the end, the other end. So the escalator is moving up first. Bunty is also moving up, so the escalator is actually helping him. Bubbly is moving down, right? Bubbly is moving down and bubbly is coming down. The speed is given that both of them take same time to reach the other end. That means Bunty reaches on top, bubbly reaches on bottom. So actually bubbly will have to go at faster than the escalator speed, right? Okay, so let's say that Bunty, we know, has taken 160 steps. Okay, and let's say the escalator has taken x steps total because the time taken is same. So I can say that the escalator has taken x steps. So these are the number of steps required to reach the top for Bunty. The time taken is same for bubbly also. Bubbly has taken 100 steps. Escalator in that would have moved x steps upwards. So actually it is negative because escalator is actually reducing his speed. So this is the equation that you'll get. 60 plus x is equal to 100 minus x, which tells you that 2x is equal to 40 or x is equal to 20. Escalator basically has moved by 20 steps. Okay, number of steps in the escalator is 20. So now if you see 20, now Bunty takes 60 steps. So basically total that he has moved is 80 steps. Bunty has moved 100, but in that 120 got subtracted because the escalator was moving up. So he or she also covered 80. So the net distance is 80 steps in the escalator. There are 80 steps in the escalator. Okay, answer is not 20, remember. Bunty, in case of Bunty, the escalator moves only 20 steps because he has covered 60 steps himself. He covers 60 steps, so escalator has to cover only 20. In the same time, in bubbly also escalators covers 20 and he covers 100. Net, both cases it is 80. If they had not moved at all, then the escalator would have covered a total of 80 steps to go from top to bottom or bottom to top. So the answer is going to be 80 steps. So the number of steps in the escalator is 80. How many steps of the escalator you need depends on how much you are moving. So out of this 80, you can take some steps, remaining will be taken by the escalator. Okay, so in case of Bunty, you can see that Bunty basically took 60 steps on his own, so the escalator took only 20. Bubbly took 100, so Bubbly took actually more. So the escalator subtracted 20. Okay, so net that is the answer. Okay, so very nice concept, and we have done 2 questions on escalators and remaining questions on races. So I hope we are clear till here, and this concludes our 3rd class on time and distance, time, speed and distance. And in the next class, we are going to look at the concept of boats and cisterns, boats and streams. Again, a very important concept on relative speed, where we'll apply the concept of relative speed on boats and streams, and we'll solve that. Meanwhile, please make sure that you go through all the 3 classes that we have taken so far, solve the questions that we have solve them yourself a couple of times, and then solve some more questions from your practice material, so you have complete confidence on whatever we have done. And then move on and join me in the next class. Thank you so much.